Hey everyone. This is obviously kind of a start, but whatever. So this is clearly going to be like the first you hear from me, and honestly, I genuinely do feel bad kind of telling cuz this one's quite sad. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, I've known this one kid since around 7th grade for the sake of protecting his privacy and personal information. I'm just going to call him Jayden. Now, for a while, me and Jayden didn't really like so much get along. Like this dude was literally on my fucking ass for literally anything I did, and it pissed me off like really fucking badly. So you can imagine me and him like kind of talked a lot of shit together. Like we really did. Like there's this one like lunch table back in 8th grade, and we'd like sit down and play Clash Royale with each other. I got along with like almost everybody except for him, just because I could not stand this kid, and I guess I wasn't the only one. Moving on. But if we fast forward to freshman year, things between me and Jayden kind of calmed down. Me and him like rode the bus together, and we even talked on the bus. And to be honest, like actually getting to know this dude, he's pretty cool. He's into like working out. He does meal preps. He watches some shows. Like I know he likes Breaking Bad. He likes the Dragon Ball series. Nerdy shit. But you're into what you're into, so it's cool. I felt a little bad for him though, because he's told me some stories like about his childhood and stuff, and it's like he had a rough childhood. And this one day, me and him, this is like the main part of the story. This one day, me and him were riding the bus together, and we were talking, and it started normal. I was just talking about my usual stupid stuff, like girlfriends, substances, and just dumb shit I do with my friends. And the conversation started to get really deep though, because he was telling me about like how he feels depressed and like how he doesn't belong and he's just feeling hopeless and he doesn't want to do anymore. Like I'm tired of this shit, stuff like that. And just a side note, me personally, I do struggle with depression to this day, and it's diagnosed. I'm not one of those self-diagnosing, but I'll have lots of stories like later on in the future which will be nice and fun, and you'll get to listen to my suffering. But back on topic, throughout the conversation, Jayden was showing me messages with his friends about them kind of just like being on his ass and making him feel excluded, like he doesn't belong, and how some of his relationships feel fake. And I always listen to my friends and acquaintances when they just want to vent something to me. However, this time it felt different. I don't know what it was, but just the way this dude was talking, it was just really sad and honestly kind of broke my heart. Yeah, I know, pretty fucking corny, whatever, I don't care. But like, it just continued, and he told me that his dad died last month, and like the kids in his friend group that he hangs out with, instead of them being like supportive of this dude, like trying to help him, see if it's okay, they're just like fucking making jokes about how his dad died. And they're not like making fun. They're not really like making fun of him for his dad dying, but they're like making jokes about it because he died in a car accident. And this was like, and I felt really really bad for him, because he was just like, he was telling me like, hey man, like they make jokes a lot about it, and like I try to like look past it, but it still hurts. And then this dude just like starts crying. God, I just feel bad. And fucking, so we're at my stop, and pretty much I just get off. He moves. This dude's fucking completely bawling. I feel so bad for him. Like you don't even get it. I feel really bad for this dude. There's just tears like dripping out of his eyes. He moves to the seat on the side so that I can get up. And I get off the bus, I scan my bus pass, I get off the stairs, I'm on the sidewalk, and I'm just walking home, turning around the block, and then going down my street. But I just, like, really, like, can't, like, put into words, like, how that made me feel. Like, I'm just thinking, like, who the fuck are the guys that, like, this kid's hanging out with? Like, what kind of fucking deadbeat friends does this guy, like, have? Who is this guy surrounding himself with? Now, I'm actually pretty familiar with his friend circle. Like, my friend Chris, who I'm, like, really, really close with, me and him are, like, two fucking balls in a sack. Him and Jayden are friends. So, they're like, mutuals, I guess. But, I don't know. I guess you could say, like, since this story, I haven't really respected his friend circle since. My friend circle is a little bit connected with his friend circle because some of my friends are like exes with his friends. It's a whole weird thing, but this story was like, to me, this story was like really sad. It definitely felt a little bit better to talk about it, I guess, because that gets like a little bit of burden off of me, but I just wanted to like get that through so that like, if you're like struggling with this kind of stuff, and it's harder to find like better friends, it's still worth it. It's still worth trying, and not all problems are permanent. So, some things you just gotta like really try to like push through and like get through, even if it's hard. Anyway, thank you everybody. Even like, what if nobody watches this? Well, thank you to everybody who watched this, if anybody watched this, and I guess I'll see you in the next video or the next story time or whatever the hell, and I don't know, have a good night.